You know it. It's about 15 minutes before 7 o'clock right here. It's 90.9 FM. KHDC, yours truly, Kazzeo, up in here doing the show, as always, on a Thursday night, joined by a very special guest, Canada's, how would you describe yourself?
I don't know, just Canada's dance artist. You can call me freestyle artist if you like.
Canada's premier dance artist, freestyle artist.
Sure, that sounds great.
Elissa joining me tonight. What's going on? It's been a while since I talked to you.
Yeah, it has been, right?
It's been a few years.
Right? I think so.
Yeah. So catch me up to speed. What's been going on with you?
Actually, I've just been working on different productions in general, dance records, and I just hopped on a new project called Freestyle World with a Canadian label called Odeon Records, where I went back into the studio to cut a new freestyle record. So it was actually a lot of fun to do, and we've been doing some shows in the Toronto area with some of my good friends like Kathy Phillips, and I'm just really excited about the track. We have great feedback. So,
well, definitely been playing it a couple weeks here, and we're going to get into it in a couple minutes here. But let me for those who might not have missed the first time I had you on the show. For those who may have missed it, let's talk about you for a while. Now, your history. I mean, you've been putting out records and doing music for, I would say, the better part of the last 15 years, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And how exactly did you get, put on as far as like getting records out there?
I was signed to a local label. I was fortunate enough to work with them for a big chunk of my career. So first at least 10 years, it had to have been. We were signed by separate labels all around the world for different projects. So I was lucky to do that. So I mean, I think the joy in music lies for me is that I'm able to sing different genres of music. So because of that, it expanded my hits and my career as the years progressed, right?
Right.
That's pretty much it, though. I just had a great group of people behind me, and it allowed us to press on, in the dance industry. Well,
I mean, definitely as far as, like, I know international-wise, you have a lot of, like, not necessarily freestyle records, but here in the States, those that know you primarily from your freestyle stuff. So how exactly, because you really don't... Wow, what was that? Well,
we told...
that was weird. I don't know what the hell happened there. Well, okay.
There's a bit of a Halloween thing going on the phone tonight. That's why.
I didn't know they celebrated Halloween up there in Canada, but apparently they do.
Of course we do.
No, so what I was saying was, I was like, we really haven't heard anyone other than you coming out of Canada doing freestyle actual tracks. I mean, are you like kind of like an island to yourself, or is there more people that we don't know about?
I mean, I mentioned people like Kathy Phillips. There are some artists in the Toronto area that have had great success in the States as well. Again, I think it goes back to me being fortunate enough. When I first started out, Metropolitan Records, I believe the label is no longer functioning, but I was signed to that label. So as time progressed, I became good friends with people like Little Susie, and I was fortunate enough to write records with her and have her in the studio in Canada as well. So I think that helped me progress as an artist in the States as well, because my name became a little bit more, familiar with the U.S. fans, right?
Right.
But we do have local artists here that are great freestyle acts, and I mean, I believe they're just as known in the States, and maybe we're just in different parts of the U.S., obviously.
That could be.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But I know that, the last time I had you on, I know you were doing, like, some vocal training. You were, like, teaching, giving vocal lessons, and every now and then you would send me, like, different tracks of, like, artists that you were, working with or had under your wing and whatnot. Are you still doing that aspect?
I took a break from the vocal lessons just so that I would be able to focus on myself. The Freestyle World compilation's on iTunes at the moment, and I actually did work with one of my old students. Her name is Vanessa Garcia, and we did a track on that compilation as well. I should send that up to you, actually.
Absolutely.
But I did write that track. It's called Always on My Mind, and that's on the compilation as well. So I did dabble a bit with some of my past students. I'm very close with some of them, and I mean, if a project comes up, I'll be more than happy to help them out in the meantime. But for now, I think I just kind of took a break, and I'd like to focus a little bit more on myself for the next little bit.
So is it solely now you just doing music full time, or you still? I know you were working at a radio station too, right?
Yeah, I was. Totally took a 360. I'm still doing music full time and obviously doing shows. I have a show coming up in Toronto on the 29th of November. But I actually work in events now, so still music related. Just not involving me as far as the singing side goes.
With so much of you like pulled in so many different directions as far as music goes, I mean, is there a time for like personal life?
Not really, no. I mean, I try to make the time. You have to make the time, but
I mean, you know,
music is my number one love, and I think it's always going to be. And I believe that everything else will just fall into place when it's supposed to. So
we're not talking to a mother, are we?
Pardon?
Are we talking to a mother right now? I mean, any kids or anything? No, none of that, huh? Not ready for that, huh?
Not right now, no. I still have some time, so I'm not in a rush.
I got you. So now you mentioned too. I know some of the songs I had to. I'm not exactly going to say how I got my hands on them, but they were apparently supposed to only be Canadian releases. Stuff you did with Little Susie. How come that stuff was never licensed to America?
You know what? To be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess back in the day when we were dealing with the record companies, they would approach us and say, we're putting out a compilation. We'd like you to work with, let's say, Little Susie, for example. So some of those projects were made especially for those dance compilations that were released here. I believe if you do go online to some of the downloading sites such as iTunes and stuff, you probably can find those releases now.
Right.
But, to be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I would love to do another record with her. Like, she's so much fun. And, I mean, I don't know. I wish I had an answer. I don't know. But, I mean, I think, again, when it was time to do the tracks, they asked us to do them. And so I had that opportunity, and obviously I jumped on it, right? So
Exactly. That brings up an interesting point there. I don't know how often you're in contact with her, but how come, I mean, I know she's like putting out kids like, every 2 years she puts out a new kid, but I mean, how come she doesn't like put any new music out?
I mean, I wish I had an answer for that too. I mean, the last we spoke, it was just more on a personal note, just to see how we were doing, each other were doing, I guess. I mean, I guess being a female, maybe, life progresses, so when the time comes, you obviously have to make time for your family, right? I believe she's still doing shows, though, correct?
Yeah. She still does shows around the country, definitely. But
that's amazing, right?
Because like I get calls, from time to time, and people are like, "How come she doesn't put anything new out?" I'm like, well, she's only like 31. I mean, she could be, or 32. She could be putting stuff out, but I just don't know what the deal is.
You have to give her a call, get her on the show, ask her yourself.
That's true. I need
Superwoman. She's amazing.
I need to call.
You can have 3 children and be able to travel and still be back in time to take care of your children. I mean, that's something to show for. So
that is true. I need to get Latif on the phone and say, dude,
right?
we need to exactly. Make something happen here. But let's get back to you now. So as far as like, I know you do a lot, like you said, you were doing a lot of songwriting and that kind of stuff. Have you ever written something and thought to yourself, well, that's not really for me, let me pass it to somebody else, and then you hear them do it and you say, God, I should have done that?
You know what? I guess, no, not. I've been fortunate, I think, because the tracks that I have written for other people, although some of them I'm big fans of those tracks that I've written, have also been great artists and great vocalists. So I think in the end I don't lose out either way because it's still a piece of me on that record, I guess.
Right.
So I've been fortunate enough that, I believe in my own talent. So it's never been a big issue to share that with somebody else. You know what I mean? And share the music, share the happiness, share the talent, share everything. So,
right.
I mean, no, up until now, I haven't had that. I think I find happiness in seeing somebody else have a little bit of that spotlight. So, no, not yet. Anyway, I've never had that feeling. So.
But okay, so how about the other side of the coin? Have you written something for somebody and had them record it and put it out, and you say, man, they did it wrong?
You want me to be honest?
Yes.
Yeah. There's been times that I felt like maybe a song has been butchered a little bit.
Right. It didn't live up to your vision.
That's the business. I mean, again, at the time when I was doing a lot of writing, some of that stuff was meant to be put out on dance compilations, where again, in the end, it helped me in some positive way, right? So, yeah, I mean, I can think of a few tracks. I won't say it out loud, but I can think of a few tracks that have been butchered. Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to go through the catalog one of these days and do, okay, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this one?
Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, I've been fortunate enough that the majority of it has been only good and positive. So.
Right. So now tell me more about this Freestyle World compilation. I mean, you say it's on iTunes now? Yeah,
it's on iTunes, and I think like CD Baby and some other sites where people can download the track. It was just a tester to see what type of feedback we're going to get. I'm not sure if Odeon will be pressing a CD, but we have been doing some release parties around the Toronto area, and the feedback has been wonderful. There's people like Raquel on there, Joey, I believe there's a Stevie B track on there, and then some local artists like Kathy Phillips, Zoe, myself, the Vanessa Garcia, as I mentioned. So basically, it started off as a small project just to bring the freestyle back, because it flows in a lot of, our veins over here in Toronto, and unfortunately there's not a lot of outlets anymore, or radio outlets to play the records. And it turned into something a bit bigger. So it was just, like I had mentioned earlier, it was just a lot of fun to be a part of. And, people at Odeon, Chris and Sam that produced most of the music, they're just a great bunch of people to work with. So.
Well, I definitely got to get my hands on that so I can start playing some of the new stuff off of there for sure.
Yeah,
now, also included on that is this one we're going to get into now, Live Without Your Love, right?
Yes.
That's on there. So tell me everything I need to know about this before we get into it.
I don't know. It's
about me, right?
Freestyle comes easy to me, right? So I just worked off a feeling and had a really good time. I recorded it here in Toronto at a studio called Boom Studios, and I actually had a lot of fun, like laying down the vocals for this, just because it's been so long since I've cut a freestyle record, and even laying down the harmonies. I just had a lot of fun with it. Being able to bring out another freestyle record for everybody is a special thing. Again, I've been doing it for so long, and it's been so long since I released a freestyle track. So, really, it's just it's probably one of my new favorites, aside from Back to Me, which is probably the most favorite song I've ever recorded. And that's about it. We did it for the song, and the feedback from the fans have been absolutely wonderful, and as well as radio and DJs, and so.
Well, that's perfect right there. That's the perfect way to get into it. And lastly, if people want to follow you on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, how do they go about doing all that stuff?
Probably the easiest way is I do have a website, and they can reach me at www.elissafanclub.com. All my social media links are on the website, as well as some clips from my tracks and videos, and they can just spend some time on the website.
Videos, huh? I'm gonna have to get on there and
a few videos.
get on there and check those out. Are they like actual performance stuff, or is it like behind the scenes candid stuff, or?
A little bit of everything. It links back to my YouTube page. So I did do a video for an Italian production team a few years ago, and another team called the Beat Thrillers out in Florida.
Yes.
So we did a few videos, actual official videos for that, and then sometimes I'll go on and do video blogs, or we'll put footage of the shows and stuff like that. I try to update it as much as I can.
Right. Yeah, that Beat Thrillers record you did was really good. You played that a lot.
Amazing.
Played that a lot. So
yeah, it did well here as well. So, I mean, again, I try to jump on as many projects as I can. As long as it's music related, it's in, it's my first love, as I mentioned. And so I'm up for anything. There you go. So let me run this real quick. This is Elissa, or am I saying it right? Is it Elissa or Elissa? It's Elissa, but okay. It's all good. Okay, Elissa. All right, Elissa. This is Live Without Your Love right here. It's 90.9. I want you to hold on the line, okay? Cool, perfect. Thank you.